Today we are making Abgoosht. Okay, Abgoosht translated directly means meat juice. Like you got orange juice, you got meat juice. Okay, this dish is a very, very traditional Persian dish. Okay, there's no compromise on this. You cannot put anything else. The only thing you can compromise on this is what kind of meat you use. Okay, so you can't make it with chicken. Forget about it. You can use goat, you can use lamb, you can use beef. But today I'm using lamb. I like to use lamb on the bone, as you can see. Some vegetarians might think it's absolutely totally no good. It's not a vegetarian dish. It's not a vegetarian dish. Sorry, people. All the vegetarians out there, you can't have this. This is a very hearty dish that you usually have it in winter time, and it's not a peasant dish, but it's a very how would I say, it's a very comfort food for Persians. Okay, usually they cook this in what's called a dizi. A dizi is a little clay pot. Okay, so you get this little clay pot and at the market, and then so it could be a street food, I could say. So you put the little dizi pot and you put your meat and your spices and your beans and your potatoes and stuff in it, and they put it in a fire and they cook it for you. You go away, do your shopping, come back, and then you eat this. Now how you eat it, also I'm going to show you later on, how you eat it is traditionally you would eat you would separate the stock from the beans and the meat and the potatoes, and then mush up the beans and the meat and the potatoes. Not that you don't blend it, you just pound it a little bit, because you eat that with some sabzi, which is greens, could be parsley, shallots, and coriander, and then make a little sandwich with it with some Lebanese bread, and then you get the Lebanese bread and you put it in the juice, in the stock, and you have that separate. Get to that later. Right now, very, very simple dish, but there's a few key ingredients that you absolutely need to make it good abgoosht. This is, look very closely, dried lime. Unfortunately, people, you cannot get this in the supermarkets in Sydney. You can only get it from the Persian shop, right? So you have to get it from either a Persian, sometimes Indian shops sell it. Okay, I'm going to break one up for you, because you're going to see inside there's some seeds, okay? This is very technical. Watch very closely. Come close. Very technical, right? Get the and squash. Right. Inside, you're going to use the whole thing. Inside, look really closely. There's some seeds. Okay, so you try not to put the seeds in there. You can get these ground, but I prefer to use the whole one. They're much better. These are the seeds. Oh, come on, seed, banana. Right. These seeds can be a bit bitter, okay? So when you're putting it in your sauce, in your stock, take the seeds out. These are a bit bitter. I mean, it's not going to kill you, right? You can eat it. It's not going to kill you. But try and take them out, right? Anyway, that's that. We'll leave that over here for the moment, because we're going to put that in last. Now, I'm using lamb today because when we came to Australia, lamb was very inexpensive meat. Now, you pay an arm and a leg for it. Anyway, this leg of lamb was on the bone, which I like, which is the best way to eat. Make a stock is with the bone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our big, fat, juicy leg of lamb for all the vegetarians out there, and we're going to stick it in our, come close, a lot of water. We're going to make a big stock for this soup, right? Bye-bye, lamb. There you go. It's having a nice bath in there. A little spa bath in a minute. Right, wash your hands. Keep washing your hands. I don't know how many times I wash my hands while I'm cooking. It's very important to keep your hands clean, your surface clean. Don't cross-contaminate. So you washed your hands, grab your little fish, chuck that in the sink. Right, I need one of these. Dry my hands. Oh, don't you just love this outfit? Oh, has it got a pocket? It has. Oh, groovy. Right. Stock. Any basic soup, you're going to need some onions. So I've chopped up some onions here. it doesn't have to be, you know, finely chopped or whatever. Just, you know, chopped enough for it to go into a stock. You're not going to take the onions out, by the way. Nothing comes out. This is the one pot wonder soup, right? So it's one of the best soups because you can chuck everything in there and then walk away, put it on a medium heat, come back, voila, beautiful, finished. Now we're going to put the soup, onion in, done. Right. Next, we're going to add some salt, namak, felfel, zarchube. Remember? Can you say that? Say namak, felfel, zarchube.
Better.
Okay, so we're going to put some of this stuff in. Oh, I have to tell you one more thing. Little technique. Okay, you see these beans? This is about 250 grams of kidney beans, red kidney beans, and about 350 grams of chickpeas. Funnily enough, I just measured this, but actually there's 2 cups of each. I don't know, for some reason, I think the density of the chickpeas is a lot more because they were a lot heavier. 2 cups. Okay, so these 2 cups, yesterday afternoon. Okay, so yesterday afternoon, oh, I guess there's a little bit of preparation. I'll take it back. Yesterday afternoon, someone's playing something ridiculous. Anyway, so what we're doing is we've soaked this, right? We've soaked this, and the reason we've soaked it is so it cooks a lot easier, a lot quicker. Now, I'm going to drain this. Come closer, come over here. Come close, you see the water. Right, you see what the water that's draining out of there? See the colour of it? See that? Now, we're draining a lot of the stuff in there that makes your tummy go boom. Right? So, we rinsed it. I've rinsed it probably 2 or 3 times. So it would be a lot easier on your tummy when you're eating it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add these beans to our meat. Looks like a lot, but honestly, you know what? Talking about vegetarians, my dad, who's not a vegetarian, whenever I make this, we've got too much water in there, so let's get some water out of there. When I make this, my dad prefers to eat the beans and the potatoes, and my son James, he eats the meat. So yeah. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. We're going to take out some of the water. We're going to add some of the beans, the rest of the beans. Far too much water. Okay, we got Sesame Street happening in the background. I'm just going to excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to turn Sesame Street down. Commercial break. Sesame Street's gone now. Now we're getting rid of some of this water. Right. So what you're going to do is you're going to add what? I don't know why Sesame Street came on. I love Sesame Street. Don't get me wrong. Sesame Street's very cool. I used to watch it all the time. It's a fantastic show. Right. So we're going to add the rest of the beans. This will reduce, okay? So don't go nuts thinking, oh my gosh, there's too much liquid in it. It's not. It will reduce. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our spices, our namak, felfel, and zarchube. You know what? Black pepper, turmeric, and salt. If you've known me at all, you know I can't measure anything, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be brilliant. Right? So salt. Remember, we're going to taste this, right? So I'm putting some in now, but later I'm going to taste it and make sure that, you know, it's come close, who can see, right? We're going to give it a bit of a mix right now. Now the beans and the meat will cook at the same time, surprisingly. I don't know why, it just does. Right? Now, I'm going to put this on to cook. Right? Spoon rest. A lot more spoon rest. Okay, bye-bye beans. What ingredients do we have left here? Okay, we did our dry lime. You put that in last. You must crush it like this. Okay? come close. You crush it like this, take the seeds out, okay? Seeds out. So for this much, I'm using all this lime. So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 10 limes. Now, there's another, that goes in last. This is Marzeh. This is, you can't, I suppose you could replace it, but it's not going to be the same. Okay, you can't get this, you can get this from the Persian shop. Marzeh, M-A-R-Z-E-H. I suppose it's similar to like a basil flavor. A bit more spicy than a basil flavor. Quite long stalks, texture's a bit different. This also goes in last. So this and this you've got to put in last. We're going to put the tomato in now, right? You can use fresh tomatoes. Canned tomatoes are just as good. Not a problem at all. Chuck in your canned tomatoes. Now let this cook and reduce. Once it's cooked and reduced, taste it. We'll get back to that in a minute. We'll taste it. Once, if it needs more tomato, then we'll add some more tomato later. All right? Let me taste it now, actually. Just added some stock. This is a pretty big piece of lamb. This would put the lamb. I could say it's probably about at least 3 kilos. Let's say, right? 3 kilos and 4 cups of beans, a few potatoes would feed a lot of people. A lot, because you're eating it with bread also. Okay? Again, very hearty, high iron, very comforting food. Okay, so I'm going to give it a taste. What can I say? Right. Beautiful. So, right, we're going to put this on here. We're going to put the lid on. Be careful, it doesn't boil over, because you're going to make a big blooming mess in your kitchen. And you know what? I don't care. Be careful when you're cleaning, but I can't, I don't know, it's the thing that I have. I can't leave the stove dirty. I can't look at it like that. Right? I don't know how people work with workstations, they're all filthy. Right, clean as you go. That's what we say. This is going to take, I'm looking at the clock. Probably a couple of hours at least. Right? I'm going to come back and have a look at it. In the meantime, I'm going to peel my potatoes. These are washed potatoes. I could just chop them and chuck them in, no problem. Some people don't like the skin. I don't mind it. Today I'm going to peel the skin off the potatoes. I'm going to cut them in little quarters. I'll show you later. We'll put them in. Then we're going to put in our limu amoni, right? Limu amoni. Oh, I had another coffee. Limu amoni, dried lime, Marzeh, kind of like a basil. We're going to put that in later because the potatoes will not take long to cook. And then you're going to come back and visit me again. Okay? Now, the reason I'm doing this, my son called me today. He said, Mum, you know, the next video's up. Blah, blah, blah. I said, look, you know what? The thing is, all of this is from memory. It's from memory. Memories of my mom, my aunties, my grandma. I've said this 100 times. If I don't do this, I'll forget, and then there'll be nothing left. Right? Other people can cook it, yeah, sure, but every family and every family has their own culture and their own way to cook and their own way to do things. And that's what your kids get used to when you're feeding them when they're growing up. So feed your kids well. Give them a wide range of flavors. Their palate needs to grow and develop just as much as their brain does. Okay? So feed your children well. And that's the reason I'm doing this, actually. And plus I am having lots of fun, which is great. Right, so come back in about 2 hours or TV time 30 seconds and I'll show you the rest. Okay? Subscribe. Bye. Hello, we're back. We're back to finish our Abgoosht. Okay, our Abgoosht is here in a pot. It's been cooking for, how long do you reckon? It's been cooking, there's a clock over there. I'm not just going nuts. It's been cooking probably for about 2.5 hours. Okay, so you can see, if you come up close, you can see the meat is falling off the bone. Whoa, that's hot. Whoa. Be careful of that. You can see the meat is falling off the bone. That's what you want. Okay. Now once I put the potatoes in, it's going to cook a bit longer. Okay, and this will be even more tender. Okay, because that's what you want. You want it to be really tender. I'll show you the beans. Very soft already, cooked. Okay, cooked very soft, and that's what you want. Because remember, again, when we're serving this, we need to be able to mash it. Okay, so this is looking quite good now. Seasoning wise, you're not going to be, well, surprise, surprise, but let's check. Perfect again. Too easy. Now, what it does need though is a little bit more tomato. It needs to be a bit more of a, what we like it a little bit thicker, a little bit more tomatoey. So we put a little bit more tomato in there. Okay, so in goes the tomato. Give it a bit of a stir. Alright. You thought there was a lot of beans, but I'm telling you, this is a big pot of stew. This is going to feed a lot of people. Alright, we're going to put our potatoes in there, which we've peeled. In big chunks, not tiny little pieces, in big chunks. Oops, we're making a mess. Oh my goodness, how much do we hate mess? Right, clean it up. This is a huge pot of Abgoosht. This is going to be enough for, I don't know, maybe one leg of lamb would feed, with all that stuff in it, about, I don't know, 15 people, 10 people, depends on how big you are of an eater. Now remember our limu amoni. This is dried lime. Okay, we've crushed it and I've taken out all the little seeds. Remember, because the seeds get can get bitter. So we're going to put all of that in. It gives it a lovely tangy citrusy flavour. Cuts through all the fat from the lamb. Okay, so you're going to leave that to cook for a little bit longer. To that, we're going to add our Marzeh. Marzeh is like a Persian basil. Okay? Doing a sprinkle. Again, look, you know, I'm sprinkling this on. I've got probably that's 1 teaspoon. I would say that's 2 teaspoons there. And this is quite a lot of stew, so we're going to have 3 teaspoons. This is essential for this dish. You need to have this Marzeh. You can substitute it with basil, but you know what? Again, I wouldn't do it. Pretty much that's it. You're done. How easy is this pot? And you know what? It probably cost, I'll tell you, the lamb probably cost me 20. The other little bits and pieces, let's say 10, you know, for about $30. You can feed at least 10 people with this. And you're going to serve it with some Lebanese bread. And watch out at the end for some photos of the lovely yummy dish you're going to serve. Right now, this is going to go back on the stove. It's going to continue to cook. I'm going to leave it on there on a medium heat for another hour or so. Medium to low. Because, again, it's a stew. You could put this all in the slow cooker, go to work, come home 8 hours later and it's done. But it's a little bit different. I think cooking in the slow cooker is great. It's great for busy people, but, I mean, this is how it's traditionally cooked. Okay, so we're going to move this back onto the heat. Now, I want to show you one other little thing. If you come really close, let me turn the light on. Right, come really close. Really, really close. Because you see how that is kind of sparkly. See how the soup's kind of sparkly? You know what? My son Christopher, that's what he called this. He says, Mummy, I want sparkly soup. So this is what we call it in my house. This is sparkly Abgoosht soup. And we're done. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. See ya.